Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Shadows over Loathing. Last episode, we followed Rufus's instructions to this creepy place. What exactly are we doing here again? Plug his transmitter into the console at the WGCR repeater station Radio Shack. Okay. So I'm guessing there's going to be a combat. Hi, it's me again. Greetings. You sure you're okay with me just wandering around like this? Well, not entirely. But our orders are very specifically to protect and maintain the equipment, so we have no arguments with you as of yet. Frankly though, you're getting on my nerves a bit. Sorry. So what's this stuff for? Always busy questions. Oh, I already asked this. So they're working for the president. About this water. What about it? I just wanted to point out that it isn't stagnant. It's flowing from one side of the room to the other. Ah, running water? One of our very common weaknesses. Oh, he's a vampire. That's why he's talking like that. I thought it was Russian. Water burning? Irony terrible. The vampires make for the door, but get in each other's way and dissolve into ash that is quickly washed away. They were vampires? Okay, so I guess I didn't have to fight them. And by doing this silly stuff with the bricks, I guess, that I didn't even realize was actually doing anything, I guess I defeated them. You don't know what this console does, but if it's any consolation, nobody really expects you to. Look up the gadget. You plug in Rufus's gadget, and the console starts emitting a different series of beeps than it was emitting before. Apparently this machine is powered by evil, or at least weird. Were those guys sharing one bed? Wait, why isn't a coffin? Wow, this thing is pretty cool. It also looks very lightweight. You carefully pocket the zappy orb thingamajig. Can you believe this is a thing that was invented in the past, and now approximately 60 years from now? There's a to-do list here with a single entry. Guard the radio equipment. You erase the checkmark. Restroom. Flush it. Yay! It isn't important to look good if you're on the radio, so this sink has a first aid kit instead of a mirror. The radio people were probably saving this stuff in case anyone ever invents video and they have to go to war. Alright. I have everything here now. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get more stuff to unlock. I do have books I can read with XP though. So a red fern. Something really depressing must have happened here. Okay. So, yes. Now I need to find 11 radios, tune them to WGCR, and use the receiver he gave you to test the transmissions. You've tested 0 so far. Okay. Well, I know where I can find a few. No, not there. I know there's one at the Gatorman village, which is pretty close to us. You spot a shadow orb hovering around and decide to follow it deeper into the swamp. That might seem like a bad plan, considering the old stories about people following will-o'-the-wisps and becoming lost in the swamp forever. But a will-o'-the-wisp is a floating ball of light, and this is the opposite of that. So logically, this is actually a very good plan. Except for how it leads you right into a group of tentacly shadow monsters. Ooh! Okay, so that's what intimidating them does. Right. They all want to poison us. Okay. So you should just... Okay. They don't have that much health, thankfully. I'm getting used to the Gatormen in this area, who have quite a bit of health. Right. This one's gonna be poisoned. I'm just gonna throw a bunch of baseballs. And that. You won. The goodness success of your plan has now been proven. QED. Nice. Right. There's a radio. You tune the radio to WGCR and hold Rufus's gadget up to it. The thing clicks a few times, and the little needle on it goes up to 1. Then you restore the radio to the way you found it, making your mom proud. Okay. I can remember a few places where there are radios. I think there's one at the speakeasy. Oh, I got a message. Actually, why would there be one at the speakeasy? That doesn't make sense. They make their own music. I should check my messages. Call the mob back. Tak. Slucham. I can't read Cyrillic, I'm sorry. Diga. Bueno. Moshi Moshi. Toblerone. Guten Tag. Solunga. Met. Donald. Allo. Hala. Da. Molim. Stick to English or I quit. Your resistance to international forms of communicationing may prove to have a hindrancing effect on you in the future. Our organization possess ambitions of operating worldwide-wise. I'll jump off that bridge when I get to it. What do you need? An complex reacquisition. A team of our operatives transportizing a shipment of alcohol through the local wetlands encountered difficulties and were compelled to abandon their submarine. The wetlands proved to be drier than we anticipated. So do you need me to recover the booze? Where do you want me to take it? You may retain the booze at your recompense. Our only requiration is that it not be acquired by Prohibition agents, for fear that they may discover our fingerprints upon it. Yeah, glass bottles do take fingerprints pretty readily. The bottles as well, yes, that is an excellent point. What? He gives you directions to the wrecked submarine. Okay, I'm on my way. Alright, there's a radio here. You tune the radio to WGCR and hold Rufus's gadget up to it. The thing clicks a few times and the little needle on it goes up to 2. Okay. I don't remember. There are a lot of radios and I don't remember where they all are. Since we're here, let's go to the boardwalk and because our stats are pretty good. I'm just gonna brag my way out of this. Yeah. There might be one at the hobo camp. I'm not sure. $7 stats, yeah. You climb onto the tightrope and carefully inch your way across while calling out your chest moves. Fortunately, the height gives you a good view of the board. As you reach the end, you hurl the beanbag full force at the stack of milk bottles. Knight to A7. Checkmate. Well, I'll be damned. I'll admit it, kid. You snookered me pretty good. Here's your prize. Accessory. This is a carved wooden hand on a short chain. The hand is covered in tar. Perhaps someday someone will come up with a slightly less terrible way to execute this idea. Hooray! Hey, it's our rising star. You're past the halfway mark to glory. Are you ready for challenge number 4? What is it? I need you to use these 3 baseballs to knock over that row of 4 wooden ducks, punch a hole through a sheet of 3 by 4 inch 3/4 inch plywood with your bare fist. I don't know how to read fractions, I guess. And translate a randomly selected page of the Brothers Karamazov from the original Russian. Jeez. Oh, come on, don't chicken out now. Okay. Okay, there might have been a radio at Ms. Brewster's. 2 goblins wearing shorts with suspenders and carrying, you know, those things, those marching band things. They're like an upright harp, except instead of strings they have metal xylophone bars. Those things. Anyway, these goblins are carrying those and interrupt you. Hi, hello. Hi, what's up? You are intruding on the territory of the Glocklins Inn. Am I? I don't know where the Glocklin is. We are Glocklins. We both. We are the toughest all street gangs in Ocean City. What think you about it? Are you vampire goblins? Sure, I guess you do look pretty tough. That's true. We do it. Your xylophones are pretty cool too. What? Xylophones? These are glockenspiels, what we have. Oh, Glocklins. I get it now. I am so outraged over you. I think we shall a mugging do. Scare him away. Oh yeah? A mugging? Well, what do you think of this? You grab one of their little wooden glockenspiel mallets and snap it over your knee. Gasp! They literally said the word gasp. Oh no! That's right! And if I can do that to this little wooden stick, what do you think I'm gonna do to your shiny metal glockenspiels, huh? No, these terrible things must not happen. Come, my fellow Glocklin, we must from this place flee. The goblins run away, playing rapid, high-pitched escape music on their glockenspiels as they go. Do they have a radio? They do. Loathing. That's 3. Might have been one at the hobo camp? Long before you actually turn the corner, you hear 2 Glocklins playing their high-pitched, plinkly glockenspiels extremely loudly. By the time you actually get up to them, well, you're not totally deaf, but you wish you were. Geez, you 2, can you tone it down a bit? Ha! Tone it down, say you? But about if we it up tone. They start playing even louder. It's like if someone loaded a Tommy gun with pixie dust and shot you through the ears. Give them a music lesson. Look, friends, you're going about this all wrong. Don't you know anything about modern music? What's important is the notes you don't play. But mean you, the notes play we not. I can see you have a lot to learn. You better start by practicing not playing any notes at all. Then once you get good at that, you can focus on learning which specific notes not to play. I see that this modern music a tricky business is. The goblins stare at their glockenspiels, carefully not playing them. As you leave, you hear one accidental plink, followed by urgent shushing and apologies. Whew. I feel like they had a radio somewhere. Not in the Shut-Eye tent. In here, maybe? Yes, he has a radio. Yeah. Oh, the fisherman guy. Hey, Walter. Oh, hey, thanks for telling me about this place. This is a fine little community. Nice, glad you're settling in. Yep, I'm accustomed to the solitary life of a fisherman, but it's nice to have some folks to come home to at the end of the day. And nobody's complained about the smell. And that lady is like, well, good. Okay. Were there any radios in Crystal Dream Lake? None that I can remember off the top of my head. I know that at the mine there was, like, music playing, but I don't think that was from one of the kinds of radios I need to find, so no, I don't think there are any here. I know there was a radio in the basement, though. Okay. I have lots of heat armor now. Grumbling, you walk through the hot steam to get out of the tunnel. Since you're pretty well protected, it doesn't hurt, but now you're all moist and damp and ugh, gross. Maybe you should have just scrapped that dumb robot after all. Stupid robot. Okay. There's a radio right here. It goes up to 5. And how many did I need? Those are all the ones I can remember off the top of my head. Alright. So I need 6 more. Okay. Were there any at the frat houses? There must have been one at, like, the frat that smelled. Yes. 6. Okay, those are all the ones I can remember. There being off the top of my head. So, I'm gonna go do some stuff at the Big Moist now. I know that the kids that, Mr. Tracy wanted me to search the Gatorman Hamlet for traces of the kids, but, there are a few places I found while wandering that I want to check out. A burly hunter trudging through the mud gives a holler. As he nears, you see he's toting a shotgun under one arm and carrying a pile of gator hides over the shoulder. What are you doing? Swamp's no place for a little lady. Gators will eat you alive. Take this. Get yourself a seat in the next bus out. Wow, that's not enough money for the bus? Fine, take it, but go. Okay, I'm not a little lady, by the way. Treehouse. A bald cypress, so tough and tall, it's no surprise some fellow has chosen to make of it a tree home. Hello? Hey, miss, why don't you keep walking, huh? This here's Will Hunter's treehouse, and the rules, tain't no grown-ups allowed. Oh, that's a kid. Tain't no grown-ups allowed. Who are you? Will Hunter, I said. Make like a treehouse and leaf house. What's up there? Oh, it tain't anything, I swear it. You don't want to see anyways. I want to use the telescope you got up there. Afraid that telescope is the property of Will Hunter, same as my licorice collection. What's your story, Will? Tain't much to tell. I ain't that interested, miss, I swear. Not the city folk like you anyway. No ways. I'm not city folk. Ever seen a pig birth? No. Reckon not. Not many pigs giving birth in the city, I hear. What are you doing in the swamp? Nothing special. Same things every boy gets up to, I reckon. Do I want to know what that is? I ain't telling anyways. Can you let me up? No girl ever been up in Will Hunter's treehouse, and I ain't fixing to break that streak. Not for nothing. Just climb the tree. Enough of this. It's time to clasp your robust arms around the trunk of the wet, shedding cypress and begin to shimmy. Hey now, this is a private treehouse. Stop or I'll tan you till you can't stand up. Take the risk. Why, there's no boy in this treehouse at all. Only the large and satin features of a human face sunk into the tree's very trunk. Surely that can't be young Will Hunter. Oh, well, I reckon now 'tain't no keeping you from seeing my plight. I've been wicked, miss. What happened to you? 'Tain't much to tell. That can't possibly be true. The great tree sighs, shedding scraps of bark that drift to the treehouse floor. Well, you ever hear of a doctor? Do you know what that is? Yes, well, I know what a doctor is. Heck, what do you want to be so mean for? I reckon most people you go and ask, they couldn't tell you one thing about what a doctor does. I only ever met one doctor, Dr. Weiss, lived on the same street as my step-aunt. 'Twas one morning he paid me 6 bits to paint his fence, and well, heck, I swear I was fixing to do it, miss. But I heard there was an interesting trout down the river, a little wider than average, but not very wide, just the way Will Hunter likes. How can a boy resist? No, I agree, you need to go catch a slightly wide trout. Weren't gonna catch it, miss, only measure it for my notes on trout width. Anyways, Dr. Weiss, he weren't real pleased, and to teach me a lesson, he went and cursed me to be a tree. How did this doctor turn you into a tree? Don't ask Will Hunter how. All I know is doctors, they got all kinds of powerful tools. Tweezers, height chart, could have used anything. What lesson are you supposed to learn from this? That I ought to paint fences if it says I'm fixing to. Can you end this curse? Well, the doctor told me I'd be a tree till I could make good by painting a bunch of fences all around town. Hard enough for me to do that like this, I tell you. I could do that for you. Oh, miss, paint fences? You wouldn't want to do that. Sure I would. The wind picks up and snaps up a few weak twigs, but Will doesn't seem to mind. Say, that's real swell. Thanks a lot, miss. That doc who cursed me had a nice white picket fence, and he said something like, Will Hunter gotta paint 3 more fences, just like his, or he'll be a tree forever. Paint 3 fences. Got it. You can get my paints and brush out of my knapsack. I just hand them to you, but I am a tree. Is there a ladder you can put down? Suppose I can. Tain't a ladder in the way you and I know it, though, but part of this tree that I can sort of waggle around. I was still a boy, I reckon you'd say it's like my finger, or nostril. Will Hunter extends his long, arborescent fingers and or nostrils through the hole in the treehouse back to the swamp floor. You should be able to climb down those nostrils now. I'll see you around, Will. Will's taking brush. Take care of those, will ya? That long-handed brush belonged to a grandfather. Your grandfather? Don't think so. I'll keep an eye out for 3 fences. Much obliged. The telescope is a gateway lens that often leads to the use of binoculars. Okay, the same plume of smoke I saw before, I guess, or maybe it's a new one. Oh, there are several plumes of smoke. When he reaches a certain age, a boy loses his enthusiasm for hoarding rocks in a treehouse. This is called the death of innocence. Okay. I don't actually know if I remember seeing any fences. Alright, I want to go to the first plume of smoke I found. You find an old medicine show wagon overturned in the swamp. Most of its contents have long since hazardously dissolved into the local ecosystem, but there's probably some stuff left. Rhino Balm increases muscle by 1. Toe jam of endangered rhinoceri. Tooth wax, charcoal briquette, more tooth wax, and a pencil. Okay. So what's the deal with these plumes of smoke? Grumpy looking pilot. Seems like you've got some kind of problem here. Ha, you think? Yeah, 3 kinds of problems I got, if you don't count the headaches. My plane being stuck ass downward in this swamp is just the most obvious one. Anything I can help with? My name's Vivian, by the way. Rhonda Rasmussen, hi. And yeah, if you got some time in your hands, you can bet your buns I can use it. What happened? I'm looking to be the first to fly a plane all around the swamp in one go, see? Nearly made it, too. But first to fly nearly all the way around the swamp won't be making any newspaper headlines. Now look what I got. A plane half buried in the muck, tainted fuel, and even if I get those sorted out, there ain't enough runway here for me to get flying again. What's wrong with your fuel? When I landed, the fuel tank got full of swamp water, which I don't know how well versed you are in the chemistry of aircraft fuel, but not good for it, not good for it. So I siphoned the tank dry, figured it wouldn't be that big a deal since I've got a can of backup fuel. Ooh, let me guess, that's full of water too? Ain't nothing so bad that it can't be a little bit worse. Yeah, I hear ya. What's involved in building a runway? With enough tar and macadam, I could slap down a quick and dirty runway. Dirtier than quick for certain, but it'd be good enough to get me out of here. And I've got plenty of tar, but where did you get that barrel of tar anyway? You know, that's a funny story, but anyway, I need a load of macadam to go with it. What's macadam? It's like gravel for fuss budgets. For my purposes, I need a load of racks exactly 3 centimeters across. That isn't very many rocks. Each individual rock is 3 centimeters across, not the whole load together. Oh, I could look for some rocks that size. Well, that'd be great. Come to think of it, I believe I passed an old quarry on my way down. Didn't get a close look because I was kind of distracted, but I can mark it on your map for you. Can't go myself, I need to stay here and guard the tar. Okay, I'll go take a look. Your plane seems real stuck. Oh, you noticed, huh? Yeah, it's sticking up out of the ground there. Right, yep, it sure is. The way Rhonda's staring at you starts to make you a little uncomfortable. Maybe I'll just walk away for now. This is the most diagonal plane you've ever encountered. You consider all the possible ways in which you might extract the plane from its current state of diagonality. Beasts of burden, 4 oxen, 1 wagon tongue. Heavy industry, construction plane, crane. Science, some kind of big magnet, I guess. Faith, 7 piety. Procrastination, do it later. I got the muscle for it. There is no plane so diagonal that it can't be straightened out via the sufficient application of force. You crack your knuckles, bend your knees, and haul the entire plane out of the mud with a single mighty heave. Hoorah! This plane is now parallel with the plane of the ground. Okay. I got your plane unstuck. Ah, hell, that was a hell of a trick, I gotta say. I'm duly impressed. Ah, shucks. She's still caked in mud and weeds and all, but I guess that comes with the territory, in a real literal sense. Nothing a little elbow grease can't correct, plus maybe a little regular aircraft grease. Alright. Is there something I need to do about her fuel? Oh. Can it be fixed? Well, technically, yeah. It just needs to have the water distilled out of it. I don't have anything like that kind of equipment, though. Maybe I can dig something up. That'd be great. Any basic distillation setup would do the trick. It ain't rocket science, just airplane science. That's a much slower kind of science. Here's the can. This fuel's all wet. Alright, I'll see what I can do. So I need to distill it. Okay. Let's go to the other plume of smoke. The distant frog sounds become less distant frog sounds as you find yourself very close to a lot of frogs. The frog bog. That sounds fun. Okay. There's nothing amphibious about this truck. The cab door hangs limply from its hinges. The truck has been abandoned for some time. There is nobody inside unless they are very small and hiding. Are they small and hiding? No. Search the seats. A newspaper left on the passenger seat is open to the classifieds page. Circled are advertisements for Mr. Rat's Hotel for Working Women and the Docks. Take the paper. You don't need it. It's yesterday's news. Search under the seats. The gas tank is located underneath the driver's seat, which has the advantage of lowering the truck's center of gravity. This gas tank is empty, which has the disadvantage of the truck not working. You also notice a tiny glint of metal. A key. Largemouth Bass & Sons truck. Maybe it opens the lock back home. Back home. What? That engine is cooked. Eat the engine. You can't eat something just because it is cooked. It is far too large to eat. It is just not possible to eat an engine. It would kill you to even try. Girding yourself against the overbearing heat, you venture to open the cowl and peer through the smoke, only to find that someone has beaten you to it. The engine has already been eaten. Next chance I get, I am eating an engine. Sure. Alright. We've got a little time left, I guess. Let's head on over to the frog bog. That sounds fun. Nestled into a rotting tree stump, you find a colony of barf weevils. Your education allows you to harvest a higher quality of vomit than a layman would be able to. Okay. Oh, look, they're so cute. Ribbit, the frogs are talking? Oh. You clear your throat. There was a frog in it. Haha. Maybe don't use that joke when talking to the frogs, though. Hello, frogs. Not humans. Not humans. Ribbit. You address the frogs again. Wait, are you saying you're humans, not frogs? Right, yes, yes, yes. You think about what it would be like to be trapped in a frog's body. After a few seconds, you stop thinking about it, because you don't like thinking about things that fill you with harrowing existential angst. How did this happen? Quarry, yes, statue, god, curse, cave, frog. You struggle to make sense of the cacophony. It's kind of hard to understand you with everybody talking all at once. Could you all stop talking except for one frog? All single, oh, they're all one person. Share, single. All frogs share a single mind. Wow, that's incredible. This changes, actually, you can't think of any significant consequences of what you've just learned. You try to remember the last time you interacted with a specific frog as an individual, and it was, uh-oh, that biology class. Probably best not to bring that up. Is there some way I can help you? One of the larger frogs hops up to you and coughs loudly. A shiny green object flies out of its mouth and sinks into the water. You roll up your sleeve and plunge your hand into the nasty water. Your fingers find a hard object which turns out to be, wow, shiny. A gleaming emerald. This is the most beautiful thing a frog has ever barfed at you. You turn back to the frog. What should I do with this? A second frog approaches and belches up a soggy piece of paper. You decide to just look at it instead of touching it with your hand. It appears to be a shipping label from a nearby quarry. Share. Good. Luck. Ribbit. Careful. Ribbit. Good. Careful. Luck. Okay. Alright. Ooh, so this swamp really opened up. A big moist. I still got a lot of things to do, but I'm gonna end the episode here. And think about what my priorities are right now, because I got a lot of things being asked of me currently. Alright, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Shadows over Loathing.